Through our Stewardship Month, it's a time for us to reflect on the relationship that we have with God and the relationship we have with His creation. For He has called us to be stewards of His creation. We're reminded of that old saying, you can't take it with you. So the things that we call our own are things that we use in this life. But the way we live this life helps us prepare for the life to come. Jesus, as He comes amongst the people, comes preparing them for the kingdom. He teaches them what the kingdom is like. In today's reading, we hear of the Pharisees and the Herodians, again trying to trap Jesus. For in this part of the gospel, Jesus is in Jerusalem and they are looking for a cause by which they might kill him. And so they come with this question around taxes. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Every fortnight when I get my pay packet, pay slip, I have a look at it to see what it has to tell me. And one of the things that it tells me is how much I have paid to Caesar, how much I have paid in taxes. And like many others, there have probably been times when I thought, I wish it wasn't so much. There's something in excess of a third of my earnings are sent to the government. And of course, that isn't the end of it, because then when we go and buy our groceries, when we fill up with fuel, when we do a whole host of other things, they will take another 10%, thank you very much. Paying to Caesar the things that are Caesar's. But during stewardship campaign, we are thinking about giving to God that which is God's. We sing that great hymn, take my life and let it be, consecrated, Lord, to thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. You remember it? Now, what's it mean to consecrate our life to God? Now, this building, some years ago, was consecrated. That is, it was set aside for a holy purpose. In a few weeks' time, we're going to participate in the enthronement of Bishop Jeremy as our Archbishop. Now, he has already been consecrated as a bishop. That is, he's been set apart as for a holy purpose, to lead the people of God. So, what's your understanding of those words that we sing? Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to thee. Consecrating our lives to God is an acknowledgement that all that we are, all that we have, belongs to God. It's not ours, but has been made available to us to use as stewards. Now, on more than one occasion, Jesus tells stories about stewards being held accountable. Remember the story he tells about stewards being called to give an account of how they've been managing the resources of the master, and that they had been found wanting in the way in which they had managed those resources. The other week, we heard of a man who was called in who owed his master 10,000 talents. Now, I don't know if you're really up with what a talent is, but it's a weight of measure. And if you imagine a bag of cement as a talent, because that's about how much a talent weighs. And we're told that this man owed 10,000 talents. Can you imagine what it would look like if we piled up 10,000 bags of cement? There's the old saying, champagne tastes and beer pockets. This man had lived well beyond his means, but now was being called to account. He had enjoyed the master's resources, but the master said, that which is mine, I now require returned. And of course, the man wasn't able to do it. All of us live with a debt to God. Lying at the heart of the Christian faith is our acceptance of the death and resurrection of Jesus. It's what we celebrate as we come together to share in the Holy Communion. We celebrate and remember that Jesus has given himself, his very life, that we might live. What is the value of that? Well, the Christian response is, take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to thee. I have nothing that I can hang on to say this is mine and that is yours. All we have belongs to God. On one occasion, Jesus was in the temple courts, and he was in the area near the treasury box. And this was a box where people would come along, some with great fanfare and pomp and ceremony, to put in their offerings. And Jesus is watching all of this going on. But in the midst of that, he sees a poor woman who comes unobserved probably by most, but not by Jesus. And she puts in 2 copper coins, probably 2 of those denarius that we hear of this morning. 2 little coins. And Jesus calls the attention to the disciples and says, did you see that? See what? Did you see that woman and what she did? She put in her last 2 coins. She put in all that she had. These others gave from their surplus. This woman gave all that she had. Did that woman understand what it was to consecrate her life to God? I think she most certainly did. She also knew what it was to have confidence and reliance on God to provide for her tomorrow, even though the circumstances of today was that she had nothing. To be a people of faith, to be a people of trust, is to focus not on the present, but on the future. We live by faith. Faith is the confidence of things unseen. I don't have any money, said the woman. And the certainty of that which is to come. But I'm sure God will provide for me tomorrow. In a little while, we'll pray the Lord's Prayer. Give us today our daily bread. Notice that it's not our weekly bread. Give us today our daily bread. God providing that which we need. We are blessed in so many ways. Did anybody turn on the tap this morning? And out came clean, safe drinking water. Did you count that blessing? Probably didn't even think of it as a blessing, as I haven't on so many occasions. But that simple action is in fact a blessing that we enjoy day by day. A blessing not enjoyed by millions of people around planet Earth who have to walk kilometres to reach any water. And then the water that they reach may be dirty, may be contaminated. What a blessing it is to just turn on the tap and drink a cup of water. And how many other blessings do we have day by day? Count your blessings one by one and give thanks for all that God has done for you. The depth of relationship, the depth of love that a person has for another can be expressed in a number of different ways. If, for instance, it was Lynn's birthday, and I thought, well, for a birthday present this year, I will give Lynn a Kit Kat bar. That's her birthday present. All of it. How might she respond? You can ask her afterwards. But I dare say it would be, that's a bit inadequate. The gifts that we give are usually an expression of the relationship that we have. So our giving is a response to the relationship that we have with God. We heard in Bible study during the week about the time, it was the day before Palm Sunday, what we call Palm Sunday, where Jesus was at the house of Mary and Martha and Lazarus. They were having a meal. And Mary takes an alabaster jar of pure nard, which is a very expensive perfume. It's suggested that it could have been sold for 300 denarii. Well, that's 300 days' wages. Let's say a year's wage. Any of you ladies got a $40,000 bottle of perfume? And if you did, how would you use it? Probably very sparingly. But Mary put it on Jesus' feet and wiped it with her hair. This extravagant demonstration of love. Why did she do that? Well, she had her brother. She had lost her brother Lazarus. And it was because of Jesus that she got him back. It's not surprising that she responded in that way. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and respond back to God. Each week we take up an offering. The offering is our opportunity to give expression to our relationship with God, an opportunity to say thank you to God in small part for the blessings we have received during the week. I want you to note carefully the words that I use in the Thanksgiving prayer over the offertory, because I've for many years added in a few words that aren't in the prayer book. And take this offering as an expression of our love for you. For me, our offering is an expression of our love for God. And whatever that offering is, I need to make sure that it is expressive of my love for God. If it's a Kit Kat bar, then what's that saying about my relationship with God? What is an appropriate response to God for all that He has blessed us with? That's what our offertory is about. I don't need to tell you that the cost of living is going up, and that's also affecting the life of the parish. During the week, I filled up the parish car, and it cost just over $120. And that was with the discount price. And I don't need to tell you that. You experience it as well. Do you remember when you could fill the car for $30? They were the days. Probably some of you can say, oh, I can remember when you could fill the car for $10. We call it inflation, but I think that's an incorrect name. It's actually what we're dealing with is erosion. The economy is eroding the value of our dollar because it's still a dollar. But what I can do with that gets eroded and eroded. I'm sure some of you can tell of the number of lollies you could buy at school for threepence. Well, we haven't even got 3 cents now. Things have been eroded. Prices inflate. And that's part of the thing that we need to keep in mind. My mother, bless her soul, was one, now we're talking a lot of years back, she was one for putting $5 in the plate every week. Very faithful she was in putting $5 in the plate. But I had to have a conversation with her once to explain to her that, Mum, that $5 that you've been putting in the plate for the last 15 years no longer buys what $5 did 15 years ago. You probably need to make it $10. I can't afford $10. Well, Mum, erosion's been chewing away at it. And your $5 of 15 years ago is no longer $5. Doesn't do for the church what it used to do. And that's the reality that affects all of us. And so she had to do a bit of learning and understanding of how inflation affects her giving. And so as we come before God, counting our blessings and responding to those blessings in the way we give of ourselves, first and foremost, the way we give of our talents, our time, our skills, and we respond back to God in a way that is appropriate for the great love that He has poured upon us. We give thanks to God for His abundant love of us. May we be good stewards, managing well the resources that He entrusts to us and returning back to Him a fitting thank offering for all His goodness to us. Now to God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, be ascribed all might, majesty, dominion, and power this day and forevermore. Amen.